get stuck, it'll come in and redirect to
Alright, so just go for it. Alrighty. All yours.
Hey everyone, how we doing? Good. My name's Luke, I'm here from Formitize, so I don't know if any of you have been introduced to us just yet, but I guess that's what today's about. What I'm going to try and do, I'll leave plenty of time at the end for questions, so if you could save them or write them down between then, otherwise, we might not get to see everything today, seeing we've only got an hour, although there is a second session. And what I'll be trying to do is give you some direction with the app and the portal, and at the same time as some of the frequently asked questions and where Formitize is going with the future as well. Just so that you're excited enough and understand what we are and what's going on, because I guess it's important if you're going to start using it, so you have some idea what's going on. So let me start with a little bit of the presentation. Look, I'm not going to try and bore you with slides. I'm going to try and give you the quick bits of information you need and try and give you live demo, because I know, just like me, I'm sure you guys are out the tools and you learn by doing it, or actually, being, and operating. If you haven't already downloaded the app, it might be a good idea to do it now. It might take you some time though, so don't feel like you have to, but it's very easy. You just go to either iPhone, go to your App Store, or Google Play if you're with an Android or a Samsung. Alright, so exactly right, we are Formitize, and it's the app that the entire Gyms group's going with, okay? So I've done plenty of these presentations with electrical and the likes. It's my first, obviously, big mowing conference, but I've done plenty of trainings before. So there's quite a few. I think we have, I know there's 4,000 of you. We have 2.5 already registered and have a working portal. 2,500 franchisees, that is. Obviously, we are Australian owned and based in Sydney, so I'm from Sydney. We have Australian girls that will pick up the phone, or customer success managers. So we're all Australian based, so you're not going out to the Philippines or anything like that, which I'm sure annoys you with the rest of the apps. And we have plenty of other businesses that use us in Australia. A couple of big ones, government organisations and the like. Although you would be the biggest user base, Gyms Group, because there's 4,000 of you. Let me now skip down to... Alright, so the important point of Formitize. You can access us through the web, which is just go to Google. So if you're sitting at a laptop or a desktop, or even if you use Google on your iPad, you can actually access us, and that's the management portal, and that's where you do more advanced functions. Now for yourselves, every day you'll be most likely just on a phone or a tablet, and that's what you call the app, alright? So the portal looks like that when you log in, just going to formitize.com and using the login that you would have been provided when you went through Infotech. If you haven't, just contact them and ask, or we're able to give you logins again as well. So that's what the portal looks like. And then you have the app, which looks exactly like this, where you have the option to do one-off forms, see all the jobs that you've got going on, so the information of that job, you can have invoices attached to it and many other things. I'll go through this in a minute. But this is essentially what the portal looks like. Now, one of the most important things is you've got to know when you start using this, you might have further questions or troubleshooting. I think this is kind of the most important point, really, to follow, is to know exactly where to go to. Now, in the portal itself, via the picture down the bottom, you can see you just go to help across, just like, I may as well show you while I can. Just up here, help and support ticket, and that'll get you in touch with us, and we'll get back to you ASAP, whether that is via email and asking for screenshots, or if we have to give you a call on the phone. As I said, we're based in Sydney, so we can have a chat. Now, in the app, it's as easy as the big button that says help, just clicking on that, going to support ticket, and that'll start. It'll bring up in a second. Yep, easy what it is. It'll drag all your contacts in, so you won't have to type much, and then you just put in the details below that. Also, an important point while we're here is there is a user guide, okay? There's a user guide and there's plenty of YouTube videos, so if you need other training and to see, with your own eyes what's going on and how to do it, the user guide will walk through frequently asked questions, invoicing and the like. And then the videos, if you just go to YouTube and type in Formitize, there's whole videos for you as a gyms group with just the gyms app. All right? And there's our phone number and obviously the email to contact, but that's exactly the same as just going to our website as well. You'll get that same information. Let me go down. If you haven't already set up Formitize, it's as basic as going to your Gyms Online portal and registering. And what that'll do is it'll actually take all your information you already have in your Jimbo app and your clients and leads and like, and actually they'll import it all into Formitize straight away. So you won't have to do anything. Then you'll get your passwords as well. There was mention that I should bring up that you can actually import. So I don't know if you have your own Excel database or keep your clients elsewhere. So if you have a separate database, for example, you can actually import it if it's not in Jim's Jobs, for example. You can actually import that into Formitize. Hasn't really been a requirement so far, just because everyone normally has all their information there. But just so you know, we do have random questions like that. I don't know if you get you've paid for a leads list or something from our website, and you obviously get someone you can call. I don't know. I'm sure you're getting most of your leads through your franchisors anyway. But just so you know, that was a question that they asked me to address. A really important part for yourselves, because you can actually buy training. Like I could literally come out and train you on site, and because I've done that a fair few times. But for yourselves, it's going to be a lot of self-learning. So as I said, that user guide that I talked about in the help section, as well as the individual page training videos. So when you're in Formitize, just here, if I hit the CRM, you have these little videos here that you can actually watch on each individual page to talk you through, to help you with your self-learning, as well as obviously the YouTube that I mentioned before, which is as simple as going to, I think I can probably do it in the PowerPoint, can I? No. Yeah. As long as it's not something else coming up. And as you can see, just hit here. There you go. Videos everywhere. So for example, Jim's app overview. That's an 8-minute video pretty much walking you through exactly what I'm going to do here. At the same time, oh. Everyone can hear me all right anyway, yeah? Pretty loud. Yeah, so the Jim's app overview is exactly the same as what I'm going to pretty much be talking through today. Obviously, you're going to get more questions. They're going to record this. And this presentation, which was 73 slides long, which I had no intention of going through, but just, creating it so that you could have it after this day, kind of like something to take away and review afterwards. You're going to get them as well, all right? So you're going to have information to go away with, because I wouldn't take it all in an hour either. All right, so let's have a look at the most important part, the app. So if you haven't already downloaded it, this is exactly what it looks like I said before. And there's really going to be sort of one way it operates. Leads are going to come down from your head office, hopefully, if you're paying them enough. And they'll come in here in this lead section. And that's going to tell you who the business is, or who the residential client is. I'm sure it's probably mainly residential for yourselves. And all you have to do is click on it, just like that, and it's going to give you all the information you need. Phone number, email, obviously their address and history there. So conversation the head office may have had with them. All right. And and you can then start to take action directly. So obviously, your first thing you do is probably pick up the phone and call them, which is not something that's going to be recorded in here. But once you made that call, there's then a couple of things you can do, right? You can invoice them, send them out, and they pay the invoice beforehand, or give them a quote, or even convert that to a job. And the buttons there, so you've just walked through the job, and the buttons are right there, job and invoice for your next step. So I've called the client, they said, yeah, perfect, you got the best quote. I want you to come out, you're like, yes, it's 150 bucks for me. That will convert it straight into a job. I was meant to be running this on my phone, but we had to use Wi-Fi, so I've made this desktop function may not work as well for you. So you hit job, don't do it again. Come on. And what's going to happen is that's going to drag that lead and create it in the job section here. All right. Where once again, you'll get all the lead information, their address, so you can actually go en route to them. So it'll bring up the map section on my computer doesn't have GPS, but it'll actually bring up the GPS for you of where you need to go and the like. And as you can see there, new quote and new job. So you can start attaching the quote information and invoice information you need to straight away. And once you complete that job, obviously it may go into a financial accounting system. I don't know. Some people I know don't actually use some, but if others do, so Xero, that's fully live and integrated with our system. So if you create an invoice here, that's going to go straight into Xero. And also one of the cool things, the features that I have to tell you about is that QuickBooks will be coming online soon as well, QuickBooks Online. So I don't know if any of you use that. If you do, that's, I guess, exciting for yourselves, but Xero is already ready to go anyway, and I'm sure a lot of you use that. Then if you hit Start Job, all the forms that you may, so if you have risk assessments or SWIMs or whatever, they're actually going to be attached. So we've got Pest Control Risk Assessment. And it's as easy as working through an online form, which you would have... Yeah, so it's as easy as working... Oh my gosh. So for example, what we've got here is an invoice. I'm just going to use the form section because this desktop is having a fit today. If the second one, hopefully my phone will be connected to it and you'll be able to see it. But this is what it's looked like on your phone anyway. So you'd go through and you would obviously type that number in, whatever it is. Reference number. Obviously we've got locationing, so you can GPS that and get it straight there. You're going to be able to come down, take any photos with that as well. That's all photos are live with invoices and other attachments. And then you're just going to press submit. Now if you do, so that the way the process will normally work for you is you're going to just go to leads and you're going to convert that to either a job or an invoice, or you're then going to be able to, after you've spoken to them, you're going to be able to find that person in contacts at any stage, so that all their details are going to be there forever. So if you ever know, oh, what's that person's number, all of that's going to be stored in there. It's all going to be stored in there, so you can see that their number, address, past jobs they've had for them there, notes, leads, quotes, and invoices. So just along, all you're going to do is very simple, just following the icons. You're going to have the job section here. We haven't got any active jobs for Trump, but we've got some notes there. Obviously, you're going to be able to see all the history of that person. So, you know, if they're not a good payer or they're a waste of space, you're not going to go out and see them. And then, of course, you've got the leads that have come down from head office. You can find them there as well. All right, and then the next one is accounts, because I know I might want to spend a bit of time on accounts because I know that's a lot of your functioning around mowing, like you're just out on site. You've already just done a quote. There's not a lot of other forms like the rest of them. It's pretty much, here it is, mode, here's your quote, or here's your invoice. All right, so you can create that job from the lead and have an invoice attached to it, or you can also create an invoice straight from this customer here, and then there's a third option of going straight to accounts and generating an invoice or a quote from there. So if we did an invoice, we can just go down the bottom and hit plus. We can search that person straight away like that with the search bar, or obviously you can scroll up and down here. I think he's got enough money, we'll put him in there. Obviously the date, the due dates come up automatically. You can have an invoice number auto-generate if it's like, oh, if you don't need to bother with that. A reference if they may have some sort of, you know, whatever, they need some sort of reference number there. And of course their location. So this location can auto-drop. If you do have some commercials, you might have multiple locations, so you can pull that in. Or of course, if it's a new customer, you just put in a new location there. Any notes that they needed to have. And then if you have linked this to a financial accounting system, one, you're going to actually pull in all your sales items, and your coding there. If you haven't, you can just come here and obviously add the items. You would have had to add them in the portal, but you can add those individual items that you have, not a financial accounting system. So for example, you know, and with the account number over here, and what that'll do is obviously bring in the amount. Let's go with 100. No discount. We're going to hit save. As you can see, you can also add attachments there. Maybe that's creating a new invoice. So you can take photos and take signatures out there, but because I'm on my desktop version, it's probably not letting me right now. What you can do once you've created that invoice, you can PDF it for any purpose you need to download that. Then you can email that PDF to the client straight away. So if he had an email, it would add it, but he doesn't have any emails. But automatically you can select the client's email and have that go straight to them. You can also, I don't know if a lot of people do, but you can also take payment on site. So that can be cash and sort of give them a receipt via email straight away. Obviously just selecting down the bottom what it is there, but you can take payment off these invoices, so you can be giving them an invoice. They've paid you $50, it's $150 obviously charge out. That's going to be all noted there on your invoice along with the history. So there you can see that history is all going to be there in your site to see back in the portal as well. Let's walk through what I've done there, I went straight to invoices, but you do the exact same thing with a quote. And from that quote, once we'd created it like I just did before, we'd actually just go convert to invoice or convert to job. So you could create a quote for someone and they go, oh, okay, yeah, awesome. You can convert that to job. So pull in their location and you can choose the day that that's now for. So that job's for next week on the 1st. You put that in, you've got your quote now that's been converted to an invoice, and then the job all ready for you in your system. And then on your scheduler, which is in the diary in the job section, you're going to be able to see when you go out next. All right? Probably cool to go over your resources, because that can be quite handy. So any documents that you need out in the field to pull up, so you don't need to carry around something like this or any other things in your truck. These PDFs can be uploaded to your app, so your phone, iPad. So at any stage, you can, there you go, see your rego stickers or whatever else you need to. Just have any information you need to have at hand at all times in your app. So that's pretty powerful when you're not having to look around the truck, or I don't know if you have health inspectors or whatever else depending in your division, but if you have that information there to pull up at any time, it's really powerful. Now, you can also now see an overview of your business and what's going on. So if you have other employees, both in your job section here, you can see obviously all jobs for yourself, what you've got coming up. And then in the diary section, you can actually see all your staff as well. So I don't know if we've got any other staff in this demo, but you're able to, no, we don't. But you're actually able to see the scheduler here that you could see in the portal now on this app, so you can see where everyone is and follow them. So that's a quick overview of the app, and really gives you, I guess, the basic functionality you need. How long have we got? So it's probably important that once you've got the app, to understand how to get into the portal. This is as simple as going to Formitize, just formitize.com, and up the top you'll see a login, and you use those same logins you're given. So what it's normally is, it's your franchisee code. That could be JMT2B or whatever. There's thousands of them, but normally that's what you log in for your company, and your username is likely to be whatever you've got through your email. You can also change that if you want to. All right, so the portal can be a bit more confusing if you are not really tech savvy or haven't really used programs like this before. I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible. It is important you understand it a bit so you can troubleshoot yourself. And the basics of it is you just need to understand the CRM. Because in the CRM, each contact that you have the ability to see all the jobs, invoices, notes, everything on their page. So all you're doing is just going to the CRM dashboard, hitting your contacts. It's Bill Smith we want to see. Obviously you can see all his information. Now he's going to have all his information there for his billing and location, as well as communication history if there is any. Communication is probably not a massive thing for, oh sorry, I've hit scheduler. We don't want that just yet. The big part here for you is the activity section. So in that activity section, obviously you can see there's jobs there. But as you go across, you can find any forms that you've completed for these for your clients in the field are going to be there to pull up if they ring for whatever purpose you need. You can find them all there. Same with documents and photos you've taken for them. Then, of course, the leads we discussed about before, which you're getting from head office, they're all here in just the lead section. obviously quotes and invoices, all there. So it's kind of your single page. If you don't know enough about it, this one page can kind of get you through the system because all the information you need is there. All right. So this page and the scheduler, which is just up the top. Once it loads. Perfect. So this scheduler gives you an overview of who's where. So what jobs are going on, who those jobs are for, which client, and if you have another staff member, you're able to assign it to them and have it directly go out to their device. If you're the only just franchisee so you're the franchisee in this, that's yourself, that's in your company, then you're just assigning it to yourself and that'll hit your phone or device that you have. But as I said, that contacts page there, so you can create a new job, create quotes and everything from that contacts page on the CRM. And this scheduler part, where you can see all your jobs in a calendar-like format, are really going to help you maintain and get through the portal and not confuse yourself too much if you haven't played around with something like this before. Now, one of the key functions of Formitize is we can automate a few things, so you can get automatic notifications and the like, and have jobs reoccur. And so if you see a client every 2 weeks to mow their lawn in summer, or it's a 6-month contract or something like that, those jobs you can actually set up to be recurring. So you actually get the notification every. Yeah, go for it.
On mine, a lot of my customers go to a 3-week cycle.
Yeah.
It's gone here. You do a 3-week cycle.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Cool. Well, so that's just about what I was going to show you. Through the job type section, you can choose the reoccurring profile. So by having that job type, that could be a 3-week cycle, as you said.
Yeah.
Although I haven't had to mow my lawn in the last 8 weeks in Sydney because there hasn't been any rain. But yeah, if it's 3 weeks, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But 100%. So what I'll show you that now. As easy as going to hitting jobs, just here up the top.
Can you do this in the mobile app as well?
Can't do job type. This is probably the one function that you need to be in the portal for, and that's why it's important to show you. The rest of it you can normally get around in the app. The app's getting upgraded all the time, so it's getting more powerful. Like there didn't used to be the scheduler in there, but now there is.
Since the last update, my app isn't notifying me of leads.
Yours is a Samsung?
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened last week. So I had an iPhone and I'd tell everyone to go with Samsung, so I'd swapped to kind of, put my money where my mouth is, and that my S9 isn't getting notifications anymore. So we know about it, and the developers are looking at it. Yeah, just hitting jobs there and hit job type. Now you can already see in here there's quite a few. If they're already set up, I'm not sure if we're deploying job types to you, but if you need to set up your own, it's as easy as going to new job type. Very simple, you just need to follow through sort of what it's saying here. So put that job type in, let's say 3-week cycle mow. If you can, any description or whatever, how long that is. Hopefully it's a 4-hour job for you. Any forms that might need to go with it, you just attach here. Safety forms, as you said, I don't think you need to. You probably need to do main. And what you do there is you just hit save to save that detail, and that'll save the job type. Now what we're going to do is we can do some automations around reminders. So your clients and yourself actually get reminders, so they can get SMSs, which is as easy as adding SMS credit to your portal. I think they're still working that out with your head office though, how that's going to be charged. Your clients can obviously get those texts and emails reminding them, hey, I'm coming to visit you tomorrow. Make sure you're on site at 9. If this has changed, please let us know on this contact number. They're the sort of things you can do. Now, the reoccurring one we just talked about is if I'd like to create this as a reoccurring profile. So what we're talking about here is 3. So just choosing a week. So we talked in a week mode. We're going to choose 3 weeks. I'm going to say 3. Job count. So this would be if we wanted it to stop. You put in how many times. So I've got a contract for 5 of these 3-week modes, or you just let it go. So this will put in a placeholder. It's what we call a placeholder in your scheduler that will let you know there's jobs coming up. So it won't automatically just deploy them so you've got buzzers going off all the time. But when it gets to just down the bottom here and you want it to be 7 days beforehand, it'll create this job in your scheduler as an actual job so that you can see what you've got coming up. And you just hit save. And now that job type is going to be available in the app. So you can now just make a job and choose the job type of 3-week or cycle mode, and that'll start to create those jobs for that client automatically. All right. Probably cool idea to quickly show you future reminders. It's not that complicated. It could be confusing if you haven't seen it before, but it's as simple as just looking at hitting future reminders, then just picking what you want it to be, an email or an SMS. You can hit email, contacts email, so straight to the person you're doing it for, subject, 3-week reminder. And then that sort of content we talked about before. Hey, look forward, just a reminder, gyms will be on site tomorrow, or you can pull the date in of the job if you wanted to just by going control space. So job due date. So you can pull those things in from the job to automate it, and this will automatically go to the customer that day before, or whenever the time schedule you've set this reminder up. I don't think so. Well, you can set your own. You can hook up your own portal to your card, and every $10 or whatever, it'll pull it out, kind of like your tolls. 7 cents. Whatever the market rate is, it fluctuates what we get charged. Obviously, we don't make any money off it. We just give you the rate. And you just hit save. So now you've set up an automated email that's going to your client. You've set up how to automate your job. So every 3 weeks you're going to get it. You could set up automated invoices for them, which are editable. So I understand, for that 3-week cycle, it might be $50, but I understand each individual client's got a different lawn, right? You can then have these line items go in to automatically set up an invoice, but it is editable on the invoice that goes out with the job. So it'll attach to the job automatically, and when you're on site, you just go in and hit that invoice and go from there. So I know, we've probably only got 15 minutes or so left. That's a really, really quick overview of us. So I guess to recap on the important points of what you need to know from today with the system is to understand that you have got these videos available. You have got support with those support contacts that I put up at the beginning so that you can get answers straight away. Now, sorry. So we're based in Sydney, so depend on you New South Wales, Victoria. So obviously Eastern Seaboard time is 9 to 5, it's manned. think it's slightly. I heard yesterday one of our girls is going to start to work later, so that could open up a bit longer just because we've got New Zealand, Singapore, all those sort of people that are. So we're trying to widen our support ranges all the time. You'll get an email as long as you're hitting an email. I think some of our Philippine staff who just make forms for us, so people send forms. I think they might be answering now, but phone number wise, that's manned from 9 to 5 at the moment. Now, so we can do some questions in a minute. So as I said, with Formitize, where we're going, obviously we work with gyms very closely. You're a priority client, so if there are bugs with this system, which things come up all the time, so Samsung updates its obviously its software, we need to work with that and create that. So for us, those kind of things become priority, and it's often within 24 hours. Big bugs that are going to affect you will be fixed. So, and also your support is going to be attended to quickly as well. So, we're wanting to get answers back to you within 24 to 48 hours, and if they're bugs, like have our software team put things off and have them fixed straight away. So you have confidence that we're working closely with the gyms to try and get those things fixed and working. With development-wise, we are continually working with gyms with a few things. So there's all new job sort of status updates that are going to be coming out, and tasks directly out to the app as well. As I mentioned before, there is the QuickBooks that's coming online soon. So the boys are working on that. There are some things that have sort of got in their way there, but that's sort of close. That's this year, soon this year kind of time frame to have QuickBooks online. Yeah, so essentials. I don't know if you use it. AccountWrite is one of the ones a lot of you use, but that is that's normally a desktop based, and it does have the online, but it's going to be essentials to start with. We do have a CSV export to my AccountWrite. What a CSV export means is that you can just export the financial data from Formitize and go to AccountWrite and go import and just choose the CSV and it'll pull it in. So there's 100 invoices, pull them all in. So that's possible. With MyOb, it's not like Xero and QuickBooks in that MyOb has about 5 different versions, and depending on what you've updated to or their APIs and codes changes, so it's a lot harder. But yeah, we will have essentials, so the online version will be getting worked on straight after QuickBooks and the like, so that'll come online very soon as well. As well as all, there's quite a few other, improvements. The great thing is it's cloud, right? So it's not just a computer system that you have and then you have to pay for development. We will be continually updating and improving this as you go. So you're going to be working with a system that's, moving and growing and having improvements go on at the same time. That's the benefit of cloud in the IT world, and why a lot of people go to it is because it's not static and it's being improved all the time, and we have a full development team just doing that. Okay, so that's one of the positive things there. So I'm sure a lot of you have questions. So how about seeing, such a small space to try and do an overview of the app and portal? How about I just open up to questions and do anything that you may want to see in the app or portal while we're here? Does anyone? Yep.
With the obviously when you do invoices,
yeah,
look for invoices, what has not been paid, what has been paid.
Yeah.
When you look at it, it only gives you, well, I can't find the individual person. One person's got, say, 3 invoices. How do you get that up to show you what one person owes and for not?
Okay, so you want to see just for the client, this one client rather than an entire invoice page. So what I do, the best way to do something like that is, hopefully you're going to be at home. You can do it on the app. It's going to be that's going to be annoying. But when you're at home, as I said, that client's page that I mentioned, just that CRM core page where you look at them, is going to have that list.
What about reports though? What about reports where it shows you all the invoices that are outstanding, that are overdue?
Yeah. So you can pull a report on that at the same time as you'll be able to do contacts and then see the ones that are unpaid.
It gives you one invoice.
In
Like
let's
Say
open it.
Mr. Smith, was it Mr. Smith? You've done Mr. Smith, so say 6 months, and you go over for say 80 days.
Yeah.
Over a period of time. When you go to record, it doesn't give you a bump of what Mr. Smith owes. Exactly.
Oh, yeah, so it's sort of talking about a statement of just one. So you want all of those 8 in one rather than being. So you have, do you use 0 at the same time?
Yeah, using 0, yeah.
You're still using 0?
Yeah.
Because that's kind of a financial accounting system function in that formatizes. So I've just gone into that Bill Smith client and hit invoices.
Yes.
All invoices, I could go unpaid there, and that's going to bring them all up there, all 8 of them individually.
Yeah.
But we're not a financial accounting system that's going to be running those advanced sort of functions like producing statements for a client and the like. That's a 0 function.
Yeah, like all those 8 invoices and other reports, you want to print them off to sort of try and track down the ones that owe money.
Yeah.
Like you want to find those 8 invoices under that one person's name.
So they'd all come up.
The guy's name,
So they'd all come up right now on this page, all 8 of them individually.
Yeah.
But you want to print them off.
No. I want to find them. I want to find the actual. That's fine. You got Mr. Smith there, right?
Yeah.
So you're doing your monthly reconciliation.
Yeah, yeah.
You go through your reports. You want to print up reports of all the overdue invoices that are outstanding.
Okay.
Right. When you print it off, it only prints it off as in invoice number selection. Right? You want to be able to find it in a group of, say, one customer. So you print off a report, so instead of being invoice number, it's customer name.
Yeah.
Give you that whole
So Formitize can definitely obviously produce it on that screen there showing you that you've got the 8, but it's not going to, we're not configured to do that. That's more of an advanced function that you go to 0 for, type in Mr. Smith, and that's going to give you his 8 invoices, and you ask for a statement, and that's going to have the 8 invoices listed with the $800 or whatever he owes. Okay? So we wouldn't, if I went to reports, I can actually pull the invoices up and pull them into a CSV that you could print off, but it's not going to be like a PDF structure of all 8 of them. So I could go to invoices here. I can hit unpaid, see if anyone else has a couple here. 300.
Yeah, really, yes.
So if I was to then type in that customer and unpaid, so that's filtered it already in the report section, and I was to download that CSV, you're going to get his 8 invoices with their line items there like that, total, so that you can see them all at once. So you can do it, it's just not going to come out in that PDF you're kind of talking about. You could print the Excel off, no worries at all. And it's going to have all the totals and the customer, and it's going to be unpaid. So it will spit that all out. I guess what I'm trying to point you towards is 0 is going to have a better functionality because that's what it's designed for. Those guys are working on this financial stuff all the time, where we're trying to improve your functionality out in the field on jobs and so on.
Do you know much about 0? Because I'm on Jim's job.
Yeah.
I've been really just like this. So much more complicated than I think. With the ones you got at the moment, all you do is click on the diary, go on your clients, that automatically gets put in the diary. Whereas this, it also seems to.
Okay. Okay.
You know, 0 does that kind of thing. You know, that's 0.
What do you mean, like scheduling?
Yeah.
No. So 0 is just going to be a financial accounting system, and that has plugins like Formitize and other softwares that do the scheduling and so on.
Does that plug into the old version?
No, I don't think so. If what you're saying is that you don't want to use Formitize, there are other products out there. I could off the record give you some recommendations, but I'm not going to right now. But yeah, if it's something that you're not upset with, we're not here to, that's what the company's gone with, and I'm here to train and help you with that and advise you the best way I can here. If what you're telling me is, Luke, I really want some help, mate, I'm not going to use this, Jim's Jobs isn't going to be working in the future, can I get some advice? And I'll say, here's a list of things, go explore them, and see what it is. You don't use us, you use us, doesn't bother me. But yeah, that's Zero's not going to have that functionality. You're going to have to look for some other plugins there. All right. Yeah, mate.
Just going a little bit further with that question. To me, I've only just started using this program.
Yeah.
It's too complicated for what we want.
Yeah.
But because this is a program that's set up for other companies as well,
Yes.
this has been kind of moved a little bit for gyms.
Yeah.
The features that we need, is it possible for that just to be in the program rather than all of this pipeline, all the tasks, all the things that are actually probably complicated? Because what I find is I'm just going around the external
Yeah.
and just stepping up whether...
You know, I probably answer a little bit of that. I see, because I use Jim's job and have done for 9 years. Honestly, not saying anything excellent, but all I found is Jim's job and Jim's job's part 2, where you can go live, you can follow that, because Jim's job is very simple. And probably the one question I've got to all the guys here, does anyone use Formitize at the moment, and do you use it for scheduling?
Yeah.
And how do you find it?
Great.
Yeah, so you're really positive.
Yeah, look, it has, look, I've never used Jim's jobs, so I can't go with you on that, but as far as myself using Formitize, it can be a little bit hard to set up. It's a little bit, as we're saying, self-learning. You need to be able to work yourself in. Once the schedule is done and you've got it on a regular basis, it's quite easy to maintain, but you do have to use it on your desktop at home. You can't really maintain it from your mobile phone or app.
What I sort of say is, we just know what's really, we don't overcomplicate it. And it is, but look, in saying so, there's some great things on this. It's just getting it rather. I think 5 of them today is going to be easy. You'll get 5 delivered.
How many videos have got trained on it?
I have. No.
So I know you're using it, though.
Yeah,
so other people that
I
see, what I do is I sell this system, so I'm a salesman, so I sell this system to businesses, right, and then I sell them training because you need it. If you're going to employ this, we didn't need to think of it, I think, that instead of it being one organisation of gym, it's essentially 4,000. So there's 4,000 individually I should be spending time with. I can't do, well, I could, you're going to pay me, but essentially that's what's going to happen. So you need to invest, if you want to use it, want to find a system, you need to invest your time into training yourself, whether that's watching the videos or support or the user guide or paying for me to be on site and training, because learning a system is every single business, it takes maybe 3 days sitting with their tech, sitting with their accounts, training them on a system so they can learn it. We're talking about learning a system that's going to control and grow your business, right? Although we can make it functionally as easy, so we've got pest controllers using this, we've got painters, we do have those guys that don't use systems like this actually using it and using it well. I'm just sort of, I 100% get what you're saying. You're telling me what you need. We could make it that way, but we've got to encompass an entire group. So it's a cloud-based software that we can't really pull bits and pieces off and modulate it. Maybe it could, a bit more developed.
If you turn around and it's 3 days to actually do a program, that program is far too big and far too big for guys that generally do landscaping, mowing, and basically...
I'm talking about sort of a company, not a one-man business. But what I'm saying is, what I'm trying to get across to you is that it takes some time to learn it. So I've done other gyms groups, and it's been 3 hours, right? So, but what I'm trying to get across is this is a system that you're going to go into your business, and there's modules in this that you can learn, and you can automate and really speed up and actually get leads. There's sales in here, so you can actually, if you're serious about your business, you can track. I'm not saying you're not. What I'm trying to say is, if you're serious about your business, you can track where sales, you can track where you're losing sales. All right, you can grow and make more money. But they're features that you may not need, but they're in there. So the self-learning is really important. But I 100% take on board that you're looking for maybe a little bit more simpler user face that you can work with, I guess.
And how easy is the don't know, they just say it's just a matter of just chucking over the clients from the old system to the new one.
Yeah.
What I'm really worried about is that transfer of produced jobs under this new rate.
Formitize, yeah.
This is like one of those we find them at company.
Yeah.
It's a matter of clicking select all, transfer over, done.
So that's not actually something we do. Infotech has that data and they do it for us. So it's not a form. So they've done it many times, and I know Peter actually did have some trouble here, right? I'm not going to lie to say that, but it wasn't. But it wasn't.
Like you say, it all came up in Victoria addresses.
But we fixed it, right? But we fixed it.
Because it is pretty serious.
Yeah, of course it is.
Your livelihood, and I think we transferred over directly. And yeah, there's lots, 18 emails in one day of Formitize and project. That was pretty.
But that wasn't something that Formitize encountered. It was just Infotech having to get the data across. But we got all of it across in the end, right? So we didn't lose it. So because it's cloud-based and whatever, you're not going to lose it. It's just, that was a one-off thing. Other than that, we haven't had anything to happen. It was just unlucky to happen to Peter. Yeah.
Can you set up marketing campaigns in there, or you know, a special one on the free, for example?
We
Actually, an email all your customers.
So that's more of a software like MailChimp. So I don't know, have you heard of MailChimp?
Yeah, MailChimp. So can you pull all your email addresses there?
Yeah, you can pull all your email addresses and import it into there. Yeah.
Is that easy to do? It's easy to do.
It's great. Oh, easy to do. Yeah, you could run a report and download it in CSV, which just as easy as going to contacts. Just in this report place, we went to have a look at the invoices before, where we could do it in CSV. And that, as you can see, is pulling all your contacts out with the email, and down that'll produce a CSV. You just go then to MailChimp, and obviously just go through the import function there, and it'll import it all. So you've got all your clients, and then you just set up your campaign. Something like that's perfect, because then we'd be overcomplicating the system again, right? So there's bits and pieces that we can and can't want to do, because we're going to want to focus on simplifying it, and then maybe have it easier to integrate into MailChimp, which is way better, or a professional enterprise marketing software. Yeah.
Any more questions, guys?
Just how long is the contract with Gyms at the moment? Because they've been obviously seen a few different versions of these sorts of things come through. And is it only going to be a 1-year contract, and then we're going to have to be retraining for something else again?
I have no idea. That's for my, I guess, CEO and your management. I have no idea around that sort of stuff. It'd be ludicrous if you did change again. You'd be better off to.
Well, they have had a couple of changes, haven't they? Unfortunately, we had Jim's jobs, Jim's that.
So you'd need to, not sure whether if your organisation have made that. There's plenty of other people using the software. I don't know. That's not for me.
Yeah.
I've just got a quick question for the group, guys. If your franchisor or national had access to your Formitize account, would that change your mind in relation to going down that path?
Yeah.
Does it worry anyone franchisor or have you done?
According to the manual, you should be updating it regularly anyway.
Sorry?
According to the manual, you should be updating your client list online regularly anyway.
But in saying that your franchisor needs to know how to operate this, because there's no there. What's it for?
Yeah, which is, so I did a franchisor training with all the pest, which is probably the most, I don't know, I'd encourage you guys to talk about, obviously they took the hit, they made the payments for it all, but to actually have your franchisors trained who are close to you and come out and train you is probably a good thing. You should encourage, I don't know if you can or not, I'm just sort of, that's what we did with the pest, trained all the franchisors so they can go out and train the franchisees. It means you get that extra person who knows a bit more that you can get answers on as well. So
It's not having to go on sure, but our franchisors still use Jim's jobs. They never went to the next stage, never went to the next stage, never went to this.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to actually get anything that if our franchisors don't understand it and don't get training on it,
Yeah.
every time we meet somebody, we say, okay, speak to your franchisor. Well, it's conscious.
Yeah, I get it.
And that's not having going to.
No.
But the big picture should be start at the top, train them, and then work your way through it. Because what is the undergrad is being trained, big fires there and so forth, but the top doesn't understand it either.
Yeah.
They're going to train chicks bookkeepers, aren't they?
I believe that's what they're doing, but then they're just going to get sort of trained. You're going to need to have some specialists. So the bookkeepers, you probably prefer your franchise because you guys are going to have to pay for your bookkeepers to train you.
You said before 4,000 franchisees in mind. You said two.
Across your group.
You said that 2,500 are using the Formitize process. To be honest with you, it'd be interesting to see how many have logged on and started and how many actually are still using it.
Yeah.
It's not having go through,
Yeah.
but I reckon with Ben, if there was some sort of understanding of what that is, that'll give us more of a true figure. Because how many guys are actually using Formitize at the moment? Yeah. How many don't use it?
So I meant across the group. So I meant 2,500 across the group, not
It's
just.
interesting to see how many have actually started with it and actually still using
Yeah.
it. Because I think that's.
I think 2.5 signed on.
Yeah.
I'd say 2.5%. Maybe 3. I don't know.
And it's not having a go, it's just.
Yeah.
You're talking to mum guys that generally want something that's fairly straightforward.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally get you. Like as a salesman and consultant, I go out, get your frustrations right. I want me on site training you so you got this. We're talking about your business and the program you're using. So 100% get your frustrations. We've got to, if it's something you've got to do, I think as the organisation we need to come up with maybe a better strategy of getting this information down and training and getting it right for you there, because that's what I'd be doing in any other business. I'd be in their front door, sitting with them, sitting with someone, training and empowering that one person in the organisation to spread it. So for yourselves, that could be training the franchisors to spread it and sit down with you at dinner or whenever. But you have that training, you have that access. Because at the moment, what I'm feeling is you don't have enough information or access. You know what I mean? I'm getting that. I understand maybe the support and the higher management maybe don't, but I totally get you. What I'm saying is I agree, because I'd be doing this with any other business. Yeah, so what's that?
Anything else, guys, before we shut? Thanks, guys. Got lunch now at Expo time, fellas, and ladies. We'll be back here at 1:30. So you've got a bit of time to get your stick at the Expo. Remember, 3 p.m. for the draw. Look for a national staff member or look for the first next barrel in the main CV room. Stick your passport in there and be in with a chance to win $41,000 worth of prizes. Thanks for your attendance, guys.
Deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah.